Well, hey everybody. It is Office Hours, the Wednesday edition. And today, on Office Hours, we've got all sorts of interesting stuff. We've got the Jelly Roll. In the Jelly Roll, we're talking about Front Row campaign. It's Manchester United got together with Google+. This is so cool what they're doing with Hangouts. Can't wait to show you. We've got 4 reasons to get on Google+ now. This was a really cool hangout with Ben Fisher and Mark Traphagen and some other people. We've got an oldie but goodie Alien vs. Predator video. Came out in 2006, making the rounds again. We're going to talk about why that's important and cool. We actually have a something useful segment. We're going to go into YouTube and why it's really useful today and what you can do really simple with it to help build interest and grow followers and subscribers. Because subscribers are what you want on YouTube, and believe it or not, they're more important than followers, and you'll realize that by the end of this year. We also have a deep end, higher ground. We're going to talk about a beautiful blog post written by Todd, lebauc, the content of that post and the conversation around it. Very interesting conversation. And we will wrap it up with the communication connection and a talk about tomorrow with Glass in the Class. We're going to have Todd, lebauc, and Alex at Kent State University. But first, let me pull up my next shot, Alex. I'm John Ellis.
And I'm Alex Riki. Welcome to the SEO Wise Office Hours, the Wednesday edition.
Absolutely. All right, so this shot only works for here, and then I have to switch to perspective to actually have a conversation with you. So, how you doing today, Alex?
Oh, it's been a rough week, and the next couple weeks are going to be rough for me. With midterms, the thing about being a student and a teacher is that midterms don't just mean that you have midterms, but it means that you have to deal with the midterms of your students. So it gets interesting. It gets busy. I have a lot to do at all hours, but that's okay. I'm still managing to fit in some Breaking Bad episodes, so I can't be that busy, right?
All right, so you're breaking. Are you? Don't tell me because I haven't watched the last season. Right.
That's what I'm like. When the first half of the last season went on to Netflix, I watched the whole thing, and they just put up the last half of the most recent season. So I'm like 2 episodes into that.
Okay.
It's getting good.
Yeah. Well, yes, I know it has. It's. The last season was supposedly phenomenal. Everybody's already talked about it, and Lori and I, for some reason, we're just like, we're going to leave it and come back to it, because at this point, I think we'd have to start from scratch. We'd have to watch from season 1 all the way through, and you know what I mean? It's
to like get back into the Breaking Bad groove. I thought about that. I was like, am I going to have to rewatch at least this whole season? But it's like, the minute that I see Jesse and the state that he's in, I'm like I'm immediately back into the like, oh my god, I want to hug you. I feel so bad for you. And like my feelings towards Walt just are getting progressively worse. I'm like, the cancer's back, and I'm like, just die already. It's I don't know. I'm starting to feel like a bad person.
Okay, so I'll be honest. There's a piece of me who feels exactly the opposite. There's this dark person inside of me that goes, I want to be Walt. I love everything he's done. It's beautiful. And I totally don't care how much damage it's done. It's so cool that he's gone from chemistry teacher to badass drug lord, okay?
Oh my god. Don't say things like that. I've had arguments with people about this, and they're like, but he's just doing it for his family, and he feels like he needs that, he needs to leave something behind. I'm like, he's leaving behind a fucking, like, drug pile. Why,
right.
Like, of all the things to leave behind, is that really like, well, at least I left behind a bunch of coke heads? Like, what? Meth heads. Sorry, he does meth. He's not cool enough to do the pure stuff.
Wow, listen to you talking about...
I have never done any of those drugs.
I was just going to say...
If I have, I haven't.
What do you know about...
All I know is that coke is grown from a plant and meth is made in a lab. That's all I really know.
All right, well, we'll leave it at that. Not even the point of the discussion, but
No.
oh, look at that! Gosh dang it, man! Lower thirds are such a pain in the ass. Everybody out there is seeing it right now. Yeah, I pushed over this shot with the Alex lower third. My bad. Wirecast run a little slow today. Not sure what's going on there with that. Anyway, the where you turn on Walt, or at least this is where I turned on Walt. I know we're talking about this, but I don't care. It's fine. Where I turned on Walt was when that entire scene goes down with Jesse's, I think it was his girlfriend, and Q, and they're in the bar, right? That right there, when you see, I mean, it was such a powerful thing to say. Yeah, you don't think this directly affects? Here, let's bring the chain around, right? Let's show you how your actions affect others. And I just, if we could do that with every politician. If we could do that, there's a lot of people that need that kind of a perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Bottom line, if you don't watch Breaking Bad, do it. Because it is just, I mean, it's so fantastic. I'm so, like, I almost don't want to finish the season because I don't want it to end. Like, I'm like, I don't want this beautiful, no matter how messed up it is, I don't want this beautiful story and these characters that I've come to love and hate and just, like, that's when you know that you have something good. When you can get somebody to actually care about these fictional beings, that's when you're like, I win.
Yeah, no, I agree. And okay, just I know it's over. I haven't even finished it yet. I think maybe that's why we're afraid to finish it, is because we feel the same way. I don't want to end it, right? On the other hand, Bryan Cranston, who is just awesome, is in the new Godzilla, which is probably the only reason I'm going to go to the theater and watch the new Godzilla. Okay, I don't know if you've seen the commercials for this.
I haven't. The most recent commercial I've seen is for the new Transformers because it's going around Plus.
Look for the Godzilla commercial. They have done a beautiful job of, I mean, you're on the edge of your seat. And then you see Bryan Cranston, and you're just like, holy shit. And he's totally a different guy. He's not Walt. Right. He's totally changed, right? But boy, do they, I mean, and you don't even get to see the Godzilla. It's just, they did a really good job of making you scared to fucking death of whatever the hell's going on, right? Huh. So you should check it out. And if he's in it, and he agreed to do a Godzilla movie, there's got to be something good about it. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
Be like, all right, this isn't that bad. Like, maybe they actually developed the characters, because the plot line of Godzilla, let's face it, like, the plot line is like monster comes in. Great.
Now you'd have to go back to the story they're purporting. Now, I don't know the original Godzilla story, and this has nothing to do with the rest of the show. But the story they're purporting is that, we did all these tests in World War II, we dropped all these bombs. If there's somebody out there who's hello everybody, if there's somebody out there who's a Godzilla buff, and I'm sure there is, and you're going to tell me I'm totally wrong on this. But basically they dropped a bunch of nuclear bombs, and we did the tests in the 40s. It stirred Godzilla up from the depths, and now he's pretty pissed. That's basically what they're saying.
So it's like Sleeping Beauty. Love it.
Sleep, actually, very accurate if you wake a woman up way too early.
Yeah.
That's pissed off and about like Godzilla. I think yeah, gonna go with that. All right, Alex, I don't know, we're babbling. Anybody, comments? Make sure we're checking the comment tracker, or the comment thingy. Can we even do that?
Yep.
Okay. It's time for shout-outs. Look, everybody, here's an actual cover slide that I did for shout-outs.
Oh,
because these, yeah, I know. Well, I'm hoping that Todd will make us nicer ones. These are the ones done with my limited abilities. So we are shouting out to Todd because Todd does so many amazing things for us, for other people. But I just want to shout out to him because he did a great blog post that we're going to talk about later. He's helping us do graphics. Wait till I show you the graphics he's made for Glass in the Class. They're like amazing. So we've got Todd in here. What are shout-outs? They're recognizing friends and family. That could be in Google+, somewhere else on the web, somebody down the street, whatever. If there's somebody you'd like to recognize for doing good or whatever, shoot us a note. Join the community, and SEOwise community, and tell Alex and I. We love recognizing people doing good things. Gina Fiedel, another person who joined that beautiful conversation with Todd and gave me a wonderful statement to take away from it. I didn't even catch it myself, so we're going to talk about her and that. Actually, I don't know a lot about Gina other than she is a web developer who seems to have the same mindset as I do, and that's so rare. So, woo! And we're going to talk about Greg Nielson with Canada Gold. We be working with some Canadians, and we're doing some really, really cool stuff with them. We're doing their first group hangout. It's a company hangout. We're going to use Business Hangouts. It's a third-party extension, and we'll be bringing in all their company. I think we got about 35 people, and we're just bringing into this one hangout to have a good time. So we're going to talk a little bit about them. But it's a shout-out to Greg and Gina and Todd, and that's shout-out. And yay! Now we're going to switch back to this shot, which is you and me, because the next thing is the jelly roll.
The jelly roll. I'm gonna make that like people are gonna start saying that it's my goal in life. That's
okay. Well,
that's how epic my goals in life are.
I think that's a great goal, and I'll do another shout out. Anybody out there who wants to help us with a motion graphic for this jelly roll, we'll give you full credit. I don't know, maybe cookies. I do bake cookies, and we could use help. Here's the graphic. All right. You guys are gonna laugh. There's my jelly roll.
You're gonna laugh.
Yeah. It says YouTube videos that make us so jelly. This is the best I could do. This is why I need a motion graphic artist. All right. We've got 3 things in the jelly roll today. We've got this really, really cool video. It's the first thing we're gonna roll here. And it's Manchester United got together with Google and did this. It is the coolest. By far, to date, it is the coolest implementation of Hangouts I have ever heard of. This is so freaking brilliant. Okay, to put these fans on the boards at the game. I don't know. Now, what are you saying? Okay, just here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch the video. We're going to hope that Content ID doesn't snag it and shut us down. Because I left the sound on because you really need to hear the sound in this. And we've got to move past this horrible slide that I have here. So, here we go. Alex, just be quiet. Run the roll. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, so there it was. Everybody just saw it. Oh, real quick before I move on, if anybody notices that when I move my hands or when Alex moves her hands, we move our bodies, that everything gets a little strange. You see that with my hands? That's called de-interlacing, and we're having issues with that and Wirecast and camcorders. Just another technical thing, and that's why it does that. It's creepy looking, isn't it? Yeah. Hey, your dog's walking around back there. Anyway.
He's playing with a bone, which better
very nice. Trying
to jump on my lap, so I'll take it.
Very good. Okay, so we just watched this really cool video. I don't know. I've never been there, obviously. I've never been to England, but wow, if I were a fan, how cool is that to be right there on the boards? Alex, I want your take.
That's the thing, like, I don't care about sports. I mean, soccer is one of football for them, is one of the sports that I do actually enjoy. But, like, after I saw this, I was like, maybe I should just fake being a fan. Like, I just want to join. Like, I was like, maybe I should become a fan. I kind of want to become a fan. I want my face on that. I want to be like right there. I think it's just such a cool idea. It is so awesome. And I mean, the upper hand that they have is that they got Google to partner with them. That's one of the things that really makes it possible, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, come on. This is Manchester United. Like, hello, Google, can you help us? I'm sure there wasn't much, I'm sure, like...
Animated GIF, somebody, please. please animated GIF that.
Hello. That's what happened. They're all so nice that. But I mean, if they came to my door, I'd be like, sure, I can help you. What can we do? I mean, Google obviously is going to work with somebody like that. But what a fantastic video! What a fantastic idea! I think this is what excites me the most about Hangouts in general, about this technology. I mean, what Alex and I are trying to do with it is, unique and different, I think, in our bringing up the level of the programming. There are so many different ways to use this tech. I just realized today that I can use the tech and bring in a desktop presentation, bring in a Google Drive presentation, and then flip through that presentation while I'm broadcasting in Wirecast. There's so many ways to connect these things. I think we didn't understand just how powerful web-based communication, when you add the video aspect to it, when you make it something that groups can do, this is so far beyond the texting we've been doing for years. This is a whole new way to communicate with everybody. And they don't even, when you look at that video, you got the fans at the bottom and they're all sitting there. I mean, if I were watching the game, that's great. Just imagine if each one of those fans could produce sound. If they could actually have a conversation with the soccer players, right? Hey, get a move on! That was lousy! I mean, it would be so cool to be able to do that. Bronco games?
I'm not sure the players would really appreciate that.
Well, okay.
They'd really be like, God damn it, who let these fans?
Well, exactly, I mean, but that could also be some of their biggest fans. I mean, I give them shit, but it could be somebody just cheering them on, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the whole contest, right, is like whoever can show the most fan spirit, which, I mean, if I was the person going through those videos, I'd be a little worried about what's going to come out. People get creative, but their creativity takes them in really, really weird directions sometimes. Todd says Gina Fiedel is an amazing person. We agree, Todd. And he says, John Ellis, your Jelly Roll graphic rocks.
It so does not.
We're going to assume he's being serious.
That's a Creative Commons Jelly Roll.
He says, Manchester United has me so looking forward to football. I want MN and COT, Minnesota and Colorado teams to do this. Maybe.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. Could be. I don't know.
You don't watch
Todd,
soccer?
do you want to come in? Just keep chatting, Todd. Or we can bring you in. Either way. All right, I don't even know if I need to cut to this other one. Here's I got another shot set up for that. But let me just go over the point of that and we can move on to the next shot. I absolutely love seeing companies, big companies, little companies, whatever, take this technology and step outside of the norm. Right? This is so outside of the norm. Think about this, though. How could you take this idea? How could you take this concept and use it at your level? Use it for your business. Doesn't matter how big or how small that is. If you're a bar or a restaurant, could you have a screen there where you bring in a guest, bring in a customer? How could you use Hangouts to bridge the gap between the customers you talk to and the rest of the world? How can you help your customers get more influence through Hangouts? There are so many cool ways to do this. I mean, obviously Manchester United is doing this as a branding initiative, but they're doing it the best way possible. They're branding their team with their fans because they're doing something for the fans. And that is the whole point of being in this place in social media in general is that we are helping others. We do things for others. It comes back on us. Yeah, it sounds rainbow, but that is the point. All right, Alex, moving on from this, we're going into the Fisher one. So I'm putting up the video, which means you don't have to worry about being looked at because it's been talking and going. So go.
Okay. Well, this was a hangout on Friday, and it was 4+ reasons to get on Google Plus now. And the content wasn't different. The content wasn't new. It's the same people. It's Mark Traphagen, David Amerlin, Ben Fisher, people that we're used to talking about this kind of stuff. But what was different was they brought in the draw shop, and they had a guy, as they were talking, they scripted it beforehand, and they told us that they scripted parts of it. But they had a guy in there, his name was Rufus, and they had him drawing while they discussed these ideas. Like, you know, like those videos of like, I don't know, like people talk about concepts and then they have this like drawing map where they draw it out. And they did that throughout the hangout, and it was super cool. And they had a Western theme going, which was also hilarious because anyone that knows Ben Fisher knows that he is like the biggest character in the world.
Yes, he is.
He really is. Like he'll just, he sees a character and he's like, all right, and he just goes for it 150%. The other person that really took it kind of far, which was interesting, was Ronnie Bincer. He just, I mean,
really?
Yeah, he really went with the Western theme and he just rolled with it, and it was hilarious. Like Ben Fisher said something to him, and Ronnie was like, "I'll tell you what." And it was just like the way that he said it, so Western. I was like, Ronnie, that was awesome. He's like, yeah, I went to Texas, and that's the one thing I walked away with, that phrase. Best visit of my life. Like it was just, it was really funny. It was fantastic, and of course, it was informative. They're still talking about Google Plus and reasons to be in there, and they still talked about authorship, and they still talked about semantic search with David. So it really was like edutainment, which I thought was awesome. Yeah.
Nice. Bringing back to that word that we kind of abandoned for a while we were figuring out what was going on here, right? So
yeah.
Fantastic. I love Ben. He does so many unique things, and I don't know, you said it before. He's got connections. He's tied in with some people. He brings in some awesome guests, you know. And I love the stuff they're doing there. And all it's all talking head. I mean, it's all base hangout. They're not doing any kind of production. And to keep it interesting without that production, that requires some serious effort in content and in personalities, right?
Right.
So, and I think that's what you're basically relating to, is saying that, you know, you've got, just like Hollywood's learned, you've got to make it interesting. You've got to make it fun. If your production can't be at top notch, and yeah, you're back in the shot, Ellen.
Sorry.
That's okay.
My dog is chasing his imaginary friend again.
That's all right. This is that shot where it's got our names on it, you know, because people don't know who the hell we are. And it's the small squares, so you don't have a lot of room to move, but that it doesn't really matter. Here, let's go back to this one.
Okay.
This is why in real studios you would actually have another monitor to show you what the hell is being shown to the public.
That would probably be a good idea.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I can work that one out with all of this gear, and I will figure out a solution for that. Back to the Ben. So the Ben Fisher thing, the Mark Traphagen thing. What Ben's doing, what Mark is doing, and Eric Enga. By the way, it's Enga.
Enga.
Figure that one out. Listened to him say it finally in that 3-minute short. All right.
That was I watched that.
Did you understand it?
I can actually take in 3 minutes of content
on SEO.
That I can. Yeah, I know, right? I know. I actually but I think the other thing that it was really short, which is I'm like plus number one. Plus number two is that it was more of a conversation between Eric and Mark rather than just someone telling me something for 3 minutes. So I think that also helped. Could I tell you exactly what they said? No, I'd have to go back and watch it again. But it's only 3 minutes, so I can do that.
That is part of the content format. That is one of the things we're trying to change. This is an hour-long show. But what we're trying to do with it now is break it up into segments so we can chop them up and put them back up, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, great video. Great effort by Ben, Mark, all those guys. It's just every week there seems to be something new and awesome coming out of this. And the format is video. I want everybody to recognize that the format that we're engaging on the most is video, right? It's a no-brainer, and that video doesn't have to stay video. That video can be pulled down and reused in so many different ways. All right, the last video we have for the Jelly Roll, which has taken us a half hour, oddly enough, is AVP. I'm just gonna run this. This is from 2006. This is old. There's no audio on this, so we're just gonna run it. This was back when they were doing, I think, the first AVP, and it was Xbox partnered with EA Games or something. It's running like crap in Wirecast. It'll be interesting to see how it puts out on the YouTube side of things. So this was huge back when it came out. The reason I brought it up again is because what, Alex, did you see that as a GIF, or somebody brought it up as a GIF? It kind of regurgitated through the system.
Huh. No, it wasn't me, but
okay,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. People are always asking about the value of video, and actually you pinged me on that from Real SEO, talking about marketers are having a hard time understanding what is the value of video, right?
Yep.
We're gonna go into the something useful bit, which will be a tease to the usefulness, because we're going to talk more about the usefulness of YouTube. But here's the thing with the AVP, and let's switch to, I actually have a shot for that. Boom, here's our shot for that. So what you're looking at here is a screenshot of the GIFs that are running around. I think most of these are GIFs. One of them is a video. But you can see that this is regurgitated through the system. And if you look at some of these dates, you'll see there's 2011, 2012, 2013. So the first thing I would say about what's the value of video is it tends to come back around, especially if it's anything interesting or halfway decent. I mean, the original on this was done in 2006. Right? YouTube wasn't even brought into Google until 2007. Right? And here we are now. This thing's got, I don't know how many millions of views or whatnot, but and it's been spread out on different channels, and everybody can complain, well, the original owner didn't get the credit for it. The original owner got plenty out of it. They're still getting plenty out of it. They're the original owner of the content. Everybody else is resharing that content. People that have made GIFs off GIF and all that, yeah, that's fine. Maybe they get credit for the GIF. It'll all come back around in some way to the original creator of that content. So the first thing I'd say in terms of what's the value of video, well, it's the longevity. Because a video has a better opportunity to rise up in search, especially today when 45% of all search happens on YouTube. Right? We're going to go into that with some of the statistics, but the point on this video is that it first started as a video. It was a Xbox EA Games thing, right? I mean, they made their money off of it. They got what they needed out of it. It was a commercial. It was to sell the game or to sell the product. Right? So it's done its job. And here it is coming back again and again and again. What is it reinforcing? The AVP brand, Xbox, EA Games. It's working for them, and they're not even touching it. They're not doing anything with it. They're just watching the numbers, watching it get reshared. So why create a video? Well, the first reason I'd say is staying power, right? Distribution power, what it represents beyond the live showing or the first showing. All right, so that's AVP. I thought that was really kind of funny that it came back around, and I knew it was really old. It's a funny video. If it's funny content and it lasts through trends, it's going to resurface. And we see that with all sorts of things. I don't know if you noticed, Alex, but there was a... we were in the side-by-side this whole time, by the way.
Were we really?
Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to what you were doing. I was like too busy talking about the shit that I'm like.
That will be fun for everybody.
Todd,
they get to see me dealing with my very special dog.
I have no idea what you were doing because I wasn't paying attention. So
well, I had it muted, so they can't hear it. They see me like get up and collect things to throw around for him.
I guarantee you they were paying more attention to that than me. All right. So the next, what is it? So all right, we'll talk more about the value of AVP and that kind of thing when I get into the useful segment, which is coming
next,
up.
Right?
No. Oh. Is it next? Shit, it should be next, but somehow
Higher
you're
ground
right.
next?
No, higher streaming again. It's on a shot of you and me wide. I'm okay. We should be up again. So if you could chat Todd and tell him that we're up. Hey everybody. You should be hearing us. We're up again. So
so sorry. We needed a little break.
That's what. Okay, so I just got to tell you how crazy this is. When people ask, what does it take to run a show through Wirecast and do this kind of thing? Well, it takes 20 gig of RAM on an iMac with an i7 processor. That's what it takes. And even then, you kind of max out your CPU and your memory doing what we're trying to do, which is why eventually, if you're going to continue to do this kind of thing, Wirecast works great, but you need to upgrade to a hardwired switcher, which we're learning the hard way, in order to handle this kind of stuff. What we're doing here is trying to do network broadcasting and those kind of things with web tools. And so we kind of suffer the fate of the web when your computer crashes, just like it can doing anything else you're doing with it. And we're actually really, really, really pushing the limits of what can be done.
Todd says we're back up.
Yay!
So we're not talking to nobody. Sweet.
Sweet.
Okay, well, before we crash, Todd put up a really interesting comment.
Right.
He said, John and Alex, are you going to follow the example displayed earlier in the week by Stone Temple Consulting with short 3 to 5 minute jelly rolls or something useful SEO-wise style? In parentheses, ponder John's levity mixed with Alex's calming effect. I think that's an interesting. I mean, if we have the time.
Well, I mean so I think Todd's basically prepping us for the response, because yes, I mean that's exactly what we're doing here with the segments. If you know when I go to, I'm just going to put up the shot. When I do shout outs and I put up this shot, and we talk about it and we finish, we'll pull this video down, which by the way I didn't record it to disk, so I'm going to have to pull it down. So we pull the video down, we chop it up into segments using something like ScreenFlow, but now I have those intro, slides at the beginning of it. So yeah, Todd, to answer your question, absolutely. What I want to do is make it more efficient. I don't see any reason to record individual segments and produce them. I would rather produce a show with branded segments that have, and this is why you and I have talked about creating those, and you know this because you fed me the question anyway. But that's what I want to do. Just like, Hollywood quality shows have branded segments, and watch The Daily Show. You watch the entire half hour, but when you go to the website, the individual pieces have been chopped up and put back up there. So if all I want to see are the interviews, I can go there. If all I want to see are the funny bits, I go look at the funny bits. This is bite-sized information. Stone Temple. I'm waiting for the day, Alex, where I call them Stone Temple pilots, and I'm sure that's exactly what he was going for. You don't even know that, do you?
Nope.
Stone Temple STP, like the '90s band. Wow.
I was born in 1990. For anyone wondering my age out there, do the math.
Look them up. Stone Temple. Whatever. You've heard their songs, trust me. Anyway, what they're doing, Todd, is they realized that they're longer segments, and look, they're not producing anything. They're putting together information. It's content marketing. So they can't run longer shows, or they've recognized that they're not getting the retention after a certain amount of time. Why bother continuing to go on if you're not getting any retention on it? That's what they've discovered. How did they discover this? Look at the analytics on the video. That's what we're going to get into with the useful segment. So maybe this was all a prep for that, right?
I guess so.
All right. I was prepared for the useful segment until this whole thing went down. So what I'm going to do is, push it back to this other shot while everybody can watch me for a second, figure out how to get my presentation back up. Yeah, John's trying to get his thing back up. That's what I said.
For all of the immature minds out there, that was a great quote.
Thank you. Yeah. Is that the kind of levity with pondering you were talking about, Todd? Or do you want just straight dick jokes? We could just do dick jokes. We don't have to put any kind of effort into it.
I think I could do those for an hour.
All right.
Here's Pa's giving me crap for it. Oh my god.
Seriously?
You don't know Stone Temple pilots? No.
Thank you. There's another generational thing too, because you think STD, Todd, I know you're out there, when you hear STP, you think Stone Temple Pilots, but before that, you think what? I'm just going to let him put it in there because I know he knows the STP I'm thinking of, and you have no idea what that is. This is just called being old, and it's really sad and embarrassing. Okay, I think I have this ready to go, so let's make sure. Yes, I do. All right, here we go, guys. We are going into the something useful segment, which we were trying to do before the whole machine crashed, and we're going to talk about, get my big giant head set in here with the screen. When you see the screen, you'll understand. All right, here we go. Boom. All right. See everybody? Here's me talking to you. Except I got to find my slides. All right. Slides. Boom. Now, if I were a professional broadcaster and I were doing this in a way where I was caring about being a professional broadcaster and not kind of telling you what I'm doing as I'm doing it, I'd have all this ready in front of me. I'd be reading a transcript, which I'm not. I'm just improvising. But then we're going to flip through these slides here. And this is called a side title. Stephen Colbert does this all the time with his... I borrowed this from the Colbert set, I think. So what we're going to talk about is YouTube and the usefulness of it and why you care about YouTube, which was, I think, the slide I put up there for this. Did I actually do that? Here, Alex. Everybody's going to hate me for this, but I got to. Here's the YouTube slide. Okay, for this segment, here's the slide, so I'll know where to chop this up. Yay. Now, here's me talking about it again. Hi, everybody. It is a Google world. This is one of the slides from my presentation I'm giving on Saturday. If you guys want to come to the Rose City Romance Writers Conference, which is at PCC Sylvania campus. It is a Google world, if you have not noticed. Google handles 90% of global search volume, more than 100 billion searches a month, and that data is old. Every other web service is indexed by Google, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of them, which means it's a Google world. Right? They're all encompassed by Google. So when people say, why Google Plus, or why this or why that, it's because everything is Google. Right? 45% of the search that Google handles comes through YouTube. 45%. That is not a small amount. That is a rather significant amount, and that amount has been increasing and will continue to increase as kids like Alex and her kids grow up on the web because they watch video. It's not because they're less educated. It's not because we're older and we read books. It's because that's the medium that is the most efficient means of delivering information. Period. The end. Right? Before books, we wrote stuff down on stone tablets, and somebody said, this is a lot easier to deal with. Try this medium. Right? And then we had radio and we had other things. The bottom line is half of your market, half of the people looking for you are looking for you on YouTube. So that's why you should be there. Let's look at some other cool things about YouTube. This is my YouTube page. This is, of course, now, Alex, you can laugh all you want. You can't see this. I have the document up in two places. All right. Oh, and for Pete, if you're out there, Pete Fulford, this is, one of those segments that having you help me script it would be phenomenal, so I don't just go off like I am right now. What you're looking at here is my YouTube page, everybody. What you see here is what everybody else sees. This is the public view. Notice I have playlists. That CES 2014 videos, that's a playlist. I didn't make any of that content. I pulled it over from somebody else. I can do that. I can even attempt to monetize that if I wanted to. I don't really need to, but I could. Right? FX Guru experiments. Okay, those are things that I loaded in, but I load other things in there from other people. The bottom line is, it's really easy to have a whole bunch of good video content on your YouTube page by adding playlists. Playlists are kind of like what we said, aggregating content or embedding a post from somebody else. It's just that when you embed a post from somebody else on your blog or you aggregate content like that to your blog, it's not all that interesting because it's words. This is video. And if you curate the right kind of video, it's a no-brainer to get people subscribing to your channel and coming back to you for the latest information. You're an aggregate. There is way too much video out there. People are looking for a guide. And if they discover you are the guide for a particular niche of information in video, then they're going to subscribe to you to get that information from your homepage in YouTube. We're still messing with my homepage. The SEO Wise page is being reconstructed right now by Zach Palm. Now, you may have seen Zach poking around here and there and saying things about SEO Wise and sharing a lot of videos. And that's because we are very, very interested, very, very adamant about video being the number one source of communication. So, let's go to the next slide here. These are my playlists. Right? It's very easy to create a new playlist. All I did was go Video Manager and then Playlists. You can add a playlist, edit a playlist. Very, very easy to do so. Just read the page in Google. This is the easiest way to find stuff that interests you in YouTube. There is a big button up at the top called What to Watch. Click it. See what shows up for you. You may not think anything will, but guess what? Google's been watching what you do. You've been interacting with things. You've got preferred search. It's tied in with everything you do, including YouTube. You're going to see stuff that's relevant to you. Subscribe to these people. Subscribe to them and add their stuff to playlists that you create. You're curating content, but you're curating the best form of content possible and the form that 45% of all people searching on the web are looking for. It's a no-brainer. You can see in my list, and this is my list here, you can see that I'm subscribed. Look at the subscriptions down on the bottom of that screen. Dan McDermott, I don't know, Leo Pond, Google Webmaster, Google Web Developer, Stefan Hovnani. I got so many people that I'm subscribed to. Why? Because this is how I get new video. This is how I come up with new playlists. This is how I curate good video content. And you say, well, that's nice, but it's not your content. What does it do for your sales? What does it do for you? All right, we're almost there. Here's one of Larry Fournilier's videos. All right, it's a special announcement. Now, if you don't know who Larry is, he's got an awful lot of people following him in Google+, and he's got a YouTube channel with an awful lot of subscribers, and he puts out an awful lot of videos. We met Larry last year. He does Hangouts. This is one of his Hangout announcements. I go there and I click Add To. And what do I get? I get all of my playlists. This is how easy it is to curate content. So I would like to add this video to my whatever playlist. Plops it right on my YouTube homepage for my subscribers and people that find me to look at. All right? Larry can do the same with me. I can even add Larry's channel as a partner to show up in the side of my YouTube channel. Going to the next one. This is my analytics. Now, what we're showing here. Okay, that's empty. Give me a second, everybody. I don't like being in the little tiny window. It's weird.
Feeling claustrophobic?
Well, actually, yeah. And I'm not even looking at the window. I'm looking at this PowerPoint, and this is like probably the worst effort ever at Colbert-ish type side title stuff. But whatever. It's a first. I'm more trying to do the presentation thing. All right. Look at this. So this is my lifetime views. Obviously, I have not been all that active, and it's really kind of funny looking at the stats here. The lifetime stats are not as important as what you see in the videos, the top 10 videos. See that first one up there, Dancing Reindeer Effects Guru, which is just Alex to date, 13,471 views.
Oh my God.
But that's not the important part, all right? That video was put up around December, and it went mini viral for some reason, and it was hilarious to watch that traffic, all right? It's still getting hits today. You can't tell, but it's still getting hits today. But look at some of these other things. I hadn't started adding SOR or School of Rock videos. We'll talk about those. But when we started curating videos, when I asked Zach to start loading in more videos, all right? These were videos that are old. They've been around. There's no, just search for videos like this, like that. I told him to curate certain things. Look at these. So we've got Zombie Wolf, that's a School of Rock best of season. Lord of the Thighs, that's an Aerosmith song that they played. There's a whole bunch of these showing up in here now. I didn't do anything to promote those other than add them to a playlist. And now they're getting views. Now they're seeing airtime. Why? Because they're on a playlist that's on my YouTube homepage. That's it. Right? So this is a great way to find content that's interesting, load it up there. People will watch that content, subscribe to you. And why do we want that? We want that because when you produce a video, they get a notice. Hey, that guy you're subscribed to just did a new video. Would you like to look at it? Here it is right here in your email where you can play it right here. Okay. That's the power of this. Now let's think back on that Alien versus Predator 2006 video and just put the pieces together. All right, here's the next slide we're going to look at. These are the stats for Dancing Reindeer Effects Guru, and the reason I put this up is to show you that I selected, excuse me, this quarter. If you look at the top of that slide, it says this quarter, so it's January 1 through current day. So you can see there's been 2,860 views, Alex, since January 1 in this video. Less than I had in December and November whenever I put this up. But what you can also see is how many referrals from outside of YouTube, 50%. Mobile apps and direct traffic, 38%. View referrals from YouTube, 12%. The stats on this video alone are amazing. You can drill down and find out who's looking at your stuff, how long, where are they from, why are they looking at this. This is one silly, dumb video that really has nothing to do with anything I do other than the fact that I'm kind of silly. If this were a business video, if this were something of content, if this were one of Stone Temple Consulting's videos about SEO, they would be able to look at this detailed data. And they don't care when somebody watches this video. Doesn't matter if they watch it live or 3 months from now. There's value in there for Stone Temple Consulting. There's value in there for me and Alex, for any of our Wise shows. This is the point of value in video. So back to what Real SEO was saying, how do you explain to advertisers? Well, you explain to them that the lifetime of that video is a lifetime. It's not what happens live, like on network television. Right? Something else, the last slide, actually, this is the useful slide. This is what we're telling you to do. Set up your YouTube channel. Search for videos. Subscribe to channels. Create playlists. Add videos to your playlists. Add notes. You can add a note for each video as to why you shared it. A little piece of information. Yes, it counts. It's stuff you wrote. Share your videos in Google+. Track the views in YouTube Analytics. Revise and repeat. There. That is the easiest thing you could do with YouTube to make it valuable for you. And trust me, you're going to want to be on YouTube. It is marketing. It is the top tier of content in 2014. From there, you can do all other things. Start with creating your channel, playlists, subscribing to people. It's a lot like Google Plus in the sense that you're not going to see a lot of what you like until you subscribe to other people and get an idea of what's going on. Right? Useful bullets. Why you care about YouTube. All right, Alex, I'm about to cut back to another thing. So,
I'm fighting with my dog, and he's winning right now.
Actually, that's great. I'm just going to put that on you. Just watch that. Go for it.
Here, have a hair tie. What about it? Do you want a hair tie?
This is Alex's dog.
Hair tie worked. Hair tie worked. The hair tie.
What?
If you have a rambunctious dog, get a shit ton of hair ties, and you just go through them like water, but they make him happy.
Hair ties?
Yeah, he really likes these, cause the elastic.
What does he do with them?
He throws them around until he eats them.
Oh.
Yeah, funky. I mean, he's probably got a lot of elastic in his stomach, but, you know, it's not killing him right now. So, yeah. Gina Fiedel recently tuned in, so...
Really? Hi, Gina.
Hi, Gina. We'll be getting to you really soon, even though we only have 6 minutes, so we're going to have to kind of blow through some of the other content that we have coming up.
Yeah, I don't know how we ended up running out of time. Well, I know how we ended up running out of time.
Oh, and by the way, Todd says STP, the motor oil treatment in a can, pre-Stone Pilots era.
Yep, exactly. So, I don't know what's going on here. All right, we're gonna load up the higher ground. This was our discussion, okay. So this is the higher ground segment. So here we go. What we are talking about is a great post that Todd wrote the other day in Google+. And the topic of the post, and yeah, Todd, I'm going to kind of paraphrase and go at it from my own side here. Todd was talking about, the essence of it was about writing your own book, right? Writing about who you are and misconceptions and perceptions of things. And I liked, I didn't know this, but Todd and I were talking about SEO and at the beginning of our relationship, he was a little, why do we call ourselves SEO wise? And that's a great question, because it certainly doesn't seem like we do much with SEO, and we are not a nuts and bolts SEO brand. That's not what we talk about.
No, we would be an epic fail if that were the case.
Yes, we would. What we are about. Oh, this shot's gonna look funky. Hey, I'm not sure why this is coming in the way it is, but we have drop shadow on our... Okay. Hey, here's an interesting shot. I obviously didn't make this one right. So what we're looking at here is just a little mashup of the post. Gina Fiedel had some great comments on it, but the essence of what was going on was Todd was talking about, being, in my opinion, it was talking about the perception of what we want to put out, how we perceive others, which works into tomorrow's discussion of communication and perception and communication and persuasion and communication, right? But I'm gonna have to pull up the quote. I gotta pull up the quote. I don't have it in front of my face. Todd said to me, or Todd and I were talking about SEO, and he said, I don't like the term, and everybody out there is an SEO expert and blah, blah, blah. And he's right. There are so many people out there claiming to be experts and talking about the term and what does it really mean and where are we going with it? And, is there any authenticity in that? And I said, skip SEO. I said, if you can't be who you are, write, share, and engage. And you've heard me say those three things over and over and over again. And I hate to say it, but it is that simple now. You write, you share, you engage. That comes before any nuts and bolts SEO. Any of the things that Mark Traphagen and Eric Enga talk about, authorship, any of those higher level connections and meta and all that crap, none of that matters if you're not present. None of that matters if you're not authentic, if you're not being who you are, if you're not presenting us, the people that you're trying to build your trust with who you are, and just building that by writing, sharing, and engaging. Nothing else really matters. You can do all the mechanical SEO you want, but it's not going to matter as much as simply being present and the trueness and the authenticity of that. I think what I got out of that conversation the most was maybe I don't know if it was a sigh of relief from Todd or what it was about, but just going, I understand that it's being authentic is not going to be a hindrance. It's going to work. It's okay. And I don't need to try to fit who I am into any of these other personas or any of these other boxes. I can simply be who I am. It will be welcomed. Right? And that's what I got out of it. Alex, we can't do this format like this because I actually have to have the post in front of me. I don't even have a place to put it right now. So this doesn't work. The conversation that Gina was involved with, that I can't even quote at this point, was simply, I'm just going to give you the essence of the conversation. What I saw within that discussion was a bunch of people who've never met each other in person. Like it was like a support group. I mean, it was literally healing through words on the internet in real time, and the actual statements made don't matter. What happened was one person, one human being says something and looks for feedback. And he got feedback and love and attention out of that from Gina, from me, from everybody else that engaged in that conversation. It's beautiful. We're gonna have to share it with you. And Alex, that's another thing. We got to find a way to take the you may do this already, but I want the links that we put in the workflow when we dump it in the description to have links to all of these pieces of content. You know?
Oh, yeah, no, I don't do that at the moment.
I mean, maybe we need to get Zach to do that, but we'll get you a link to this post. And I didn't do it justice because I was kind of trying to wrap my own head around what exactly we were talking about. It lends to what SEO was and what SEO has become. But it was so much more beautiful than that, just because of what was going on in the post. If you're not aware, we have a semantic web now. And it means that you can focus on simply being who you are. If you spend too much time worrying about the keywords you use and where you put them and the nuts and bolts and practices of mechanical SEO that has been over-taught for so long, then you miss out on just being here. And it's more about being here. I want to get to know you, the real you. I don't want a persona. I don't want some bullshit mechanical put together compilation of you. I just want you. And so to Todd and Gina and everybody else that Alex and I have met through this incredible experience, so nice to know you. Just you. All right. Alex, you've been in this the whole time, and I don't know if you have anything to add to that. I really didn't go off on it the way I wanted to.
The only thing that I think I want to add to that, and then we'll move into the communication connection because it's past 6.
Okay.
But whatever, we're going to break this up into small pieces anyway, is that this whole, the whole idea of keywords I find to be kind of funny now, because through their engagement, I know what their keywords would be. Like, through the engagement that I've had with Gina, I associate her with certain things. I associate her with identity. I associate her with web design. I associate her with all of these different keywords that she didn't have to, throw in my face over and over again throughout a piece of content. Because through our engagement and through the conversations that I've had with her, I know that those are the keywords that should be associated with her. And Todd just dropped a link to his post, which is awesome.
Sweet. Thank you, Todd.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. And the same would be said for Todd. The same would be said for David Amerlin. All of these people that I've engaged with on a regular basis, I have my own keywords for them, and I would assume that they're relatively accurate. So I think that the basis of keywords is it's there in the engagement. So don't even think about the SEO.
Nice. I like what you said. I have my own keywords for them. That's such a from an SEO perspective, that is the antithesis of what keyword research is about. Because basically you're saying these are the words I associate with them, right? Doesn't matter if anybody else associates those words with them. And then what you're really saying in essence is, I know them, right? The job is done. There's no need to even worry about a keyword space. The connection's been made, right?
Yeah.
And the advantage of the semantic web is that that's all you have to worry about is the conversation. The connections will take care of themselves if you're having the conversation. And to everybody that asks me about, well, how much time do I have to spend on the web every day? And how much time do I have to do this every day? And how often should I engage? And why should I do this or why should I do that? The more time you spend on the web in conversation, the less you'll ask that question. That's all I have to say. Until you do it and commit to doing it and recognize the value in it, you won't get it. You'll wonder why anybody wastes their time, and you'll think it's a waste of time. Everybody in the WISE program who stopped asking and just did doesn't ask anymore. They've got it. They figured out the value, right? And that's where it is for everybody. And Todd is just another one of those beautiful people who comes in, introduces himself, starts sharing of himself, and there is no ulterior motive there. And that should be the mission for all people and their businesses. No ulterior motive. Here I am. Here's my business. If you want to do business with me, let's make that out of our merits and our efforts and our conversation together, not because I tried to shove my product up your ass. Right? How's that on ending it with a nice
Yeah, with that graphic in mind. All right. Gina says, shameless plug. I published an article about this last night and posted about it here this morning. Gina, I feel like I saw that go through my stream. I'll have to go back and look for it, but thanks for telling us. I appreciate your shameless plug. Keep them coming. And she also says, so nice to know you also. That conversation on Todd's post was amazing, and you're right, John. It was beautiful. I get chills.
Yeah.
I love Gina. She's so positive.
Well, hey, Gina, it's good to have you watching the show. And I will say this, except everybody's looking at Alex right now. Let's change that shot. We'll get the big time, Alex. We'll get somebody else to change these shots for us, you know?
When we hit the big time.
So, listen, Gina, after reading the stuff that you've said and looking at your web presence, wow, I wish I'd known you years ago. We are, you know, I don't even do much with web development anymore. I consult, but when I was heavy into web development, you and I were thinking right on the same plane there. So great to know you. Looking forward to learning more about you. And and let's talk, because now all I do is I get development and I just kind of hand it off to the people that can do it. I don't really have a staff that takes care of it anymore. So great to know you. All right, are we moving into the comm connection? Is that where we're at now?
I'm now feeding my dog Post-its. This is really sad.
Post-its.
Yeah, I like to use what I have on hand, and I've got some butterfly Post-its that I've had for a while. So he's just eating them. I swear.
Wow,
It's like borderline abuse.
Okay, and I'm not sure what's happening with the slides. You're abusing your dog with Post-its. And the shots are coming through with very strange stuff. Apologies to everyone. Not really sure what these are looking like. It's supposed to be a normal slide, but from the Wirecast view, it looks very odd indeed. So why don't you just... This is the communication connection, and at least you've got audio communication functioning right now. So.
Okay. Well, actually, that's super relevant because with our focus on video today, and then our talk about engagement on a Google Plus post through text, I thought we should talk about verbal versus nonverbal communication. And the question that I have is, which is more important? We in the communication department, we've always said nonverbal communication is way more important than verbal communication. We take it more seriously. We think that people can lie much better through their words than through their actions. But so with our move towards video, are we saying that nonverbals are becoming more important on what we call CMC, computer-mediated communication? Most computer-mediated communication up till this point, most of the research in that field has been focused on a lack of nonverbals, and a lot of researchers like to compare computer-mediated communication to face-to-face communication. And what's the main difference? Nonverbals are gone. One researcher, his name is Walther. He created this theory called the hyperpersonal theory, and what he really claimed was that CMC in certain situations is more socially desirable than face-to-face interaction, because he claims that with the anonymity, a lot of people tend to reveal more about themselves, and with the time, with the asynchronous communication, they have more time to develop perceptions of themselves and the other person that are actually better than what would occur in face-to-face. Of course, he's received a lot of opposition for this. Most researchers say the anonymity is a negative thing and it creates negative behaviors. But what's interesting to think about is, if that is the case, if this anonymity and this lack of nonverbals has actually helped certain forms of communication, is it really good for us to move to a medium in computer-mediated communication that encourages and increases nonverbals. So are we moving away from Walther's ideal of CMC communication in adding video or visual content? And is this a good or bad thing? I really can't say, because I actually really like Walther's hyperpersonal theory. So, thought for the day.
Well, alrighty then. All of that went right over my head for the most part.
Well, someone will get it. Some communication scholar out there is going to see this a couple of years later and be like, huh, they did talk about this stuff. All right.
Well, let's get that out there. So, feedback. Anybody interested in what Alex just mentioned and understands what the hell she said, love to see you in chat. Love to talk to you next week. This is a running series, and I'm really, I want to make it clear that we're trying to open this up. We had to get the show set. We had to get these pieces figured out. Now that we've got the mechanics set and we've got the production rolling, we'd really like to have an audience. If you're interested in being a part of the live audience and joining us in the discussions, please let us know. Join this SEO-Wise community. Ping Alex and myself. Anybody that's already in the SEO-Wise program, you're welcome to join at any time. Does that mean that on the Wednesday show we're going to have you discussing everything with us? No. It simply means you're involved with the live audience. We will ask for audience participation at certain points in time, but it is not meant to be an open just round of blabbling with people. All right? Trying to do something in between, what we do, well, like what you see on shows now. The Talking Dead, I think, is a fantastic example of that kind of audience interaction. I personally, Alex, think that verbal communication, verbal cues are going to become less important because we have video, and video is becoming more important. And I think visual cues and micro cues are what the micro expressions that we didn't get until now. Those are becoming, I think that's much more important. Where do those fall? Where do micro expressions fall under all of this stuff?
What do you mean micro expressions?
Like the FBI, where they, where they're interrogating a person, and like, well, we could see that he looked down and to the left. He was lying when he said that, and there was a little smirk in his.
That's all nonverbal.
That's all nonverbal?
Yeah, all counts as nonverbal communication. And what really, the thing about it is that if you stick to just verbal communication, if you stick to just speech and just text, you have more anonymity, and the time to develop what you're saying is much, much more extended. I can think a lot more about a comment that I leave on a post than me responding to a question like this. So Walther's argument was for certain situations and certain people, that asynchronous communication and that communication where you can really sit and ponder what you're going to say, and you can create a self-presentation that is much better than what it would be in face-to-face communication, is actually a positive thing to have. And like I said, a lot of people disagree with him, but it is something to consider and think about as we move into this age of computer-mediated communication really being video focused.
I agree. It actually makes me think about how we've looked at letter writing. You read letters from the past, and these deep, long letters, and that was how correspondence was done. That was the most immediate communication we had. Right. And when you were talking about, we could take the time to put our words together, it's, how much has that impacted what we consider quality when all it really is a time factor? Right? Did you freeze? Did I lose you?
You froze for a second for me.
Oh. Well, you're still frozen for me. Gosh, I hope we're still broadcasting.
Maybe, I know. I wonder if I'm frozen out there.
No, it says we're still going. All right. So we're going to move into the last piece, Alex. I've got your Kent State glass in the class pulled up here. Let me get the lower third out of the way and make it look nice. All right. So this is the tease for tomorrow and Friday. I'm going to let you talk about what you're doing tomorrow. Slide is up.
All right, tomorrow I will be talking to Todd LeBeau. It starts at 9:20 Eastern Standard Time. Sorry about that, John. And it's only 20 minutes. It goes till 9:40. And Todd will be telling my students he'll be talking to them about persuasion, which is always a fun topic. And for those who know Todd, they know that he likes to test boundaries. He really does. So what better person to talk about persuasion than a guy that really likes to? I mean, he likes to rock the boat. Let's not lie. So he'll be talking about persuasion in communication today, and how technology is really changing that, or if it's not. If persuasion is still, I still talk to my students about Aristotle's pathos, logos, and ethos. Still to this day. So,
wow.
Maybe Aristotle will last forever. Probably.
Well, the information that the ancients provided really is no different than what we figured out today. I mean, I'll be honest, a lot of that self-discovery they were doing back in the day, and today we call it new news, and we give it different titles, but it's not, So, awesome. I'm looking forward to this. It doesn't matter how early in the goddamn morning it happens for me. This is going to be really cool. It gives me an opportunity to work out tech issues, because when we do a show like this with me and Alex, there's only one sync that I have to deal with, and that's Alex's video with audio. When we pull in somebody from Greece, there's a different sync. There's a different delay that I have to deal with. And that's the challenges that big network broadcasters deal with all the time with expensive billion-dollar equipment. And it's what we're trying to do with here with MacBooks and, software. So tomorrow will be very, very cool. Join us at, 9:20. We say 9, but it's really 9:20 Eastern Standard.
It doesn't give me the option to do 9:20. So it says 9, but it's actually 9:20.
I know. Click in at 9. You know what we should do, Alex? I should figure out how to just be on and around at 9 so that people can just, it should be going at 9, but we could be running old Lawrence Welk or something, and then we'll kick it into your class at 6:20.
Just come hang out with us for 20 minutes before the action starts.
I don't get. We can do a nice stay tuned with some kind of an old 60s cheesy elevator music. We'll get that.
That's what, when you call and they're like, please hold, and they give you the worst music in the world. I'm like, come on, you couldn't do something contemporary or.
Yeah. Todd, so this is the next graphic thing I need. A motion graphic with really cheesy elevator music so people can look at that until Alex's class kicks in. All right, so tomorrow, Glass in the Class. Friday, did we figure out who we were actually talking to on Friday?
We did. We will be talking to Phil Bowyer, but the time of the Friday show has moved up an hour, so it is going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time rather than 4.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I should probably change that in the actual event.
Yes.
Okay, so the Friday show is happening an hour later. No, earlier. Everybody, there's Alex's dog. All right, this would be a good time to kick out of that.
All right.
Alex is getting mangled by her dog. All right.
Calm down.
Hey, everybody. Why don't you look at me while Alex's dog goes all Cujo? Actually, very, very happy dog. No Cujo. All right. I think that's it. We've talked about the Friday show. We're going to have Scott on, right, Alex? Okay. She disappeared. She's taking care of doggy. Friday, we're going to have a great show. Tomorrow, Glass in the Class. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Scott, or Todd, Gina. I don't know who Scott is. That's Friday. Are you back, or did you mute yourself?
I'm back. I muted myself.
Okay. All right. We got to run this thing out. So we have the 2x here. Thank you everybody for joining Office Hours. It's gonna get better from here. It just keeps getting better every week. Look for the broked up sections. Broked up. That's a new word. Wow. I don't know where that came from.
We be broked up.
Yeah, I've been. It was the Western crap.
We're going gangster.
I can't even believe I said that. The new season of The Voice started. For those of you who follow and are sucked into The Voice, fantastic stuff going on there. I just had to toss that in. So tomorrow, Glass in the Class, really stupid early if you're on the West Coast. Friday, office hours, an hour earlier. I will be changing the times. Otherwise, we will see you next Wednesday for another one of these, and Thursday for something else. Do you want to pimp out next Thursday?
I mean, well, I'll just throw it out there. I got Mark Traphagen to agree to come to my class, and he'll be talking about verbal communication.
Cool. So tomorrow we've got the amazing Todd LeBeau talking about persuasion, and next week we have Mark Traphagen talking about, of course, what he talks about. So, all right, this is very, very cool for myself and
Alex, hey,
trying to get those coordinated cues in. We're doing really well. I know.
killed it.
Have a good rest of your Wednesday, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. We're not off yet. And they can still hear us too.
Blooper reel begins.
Yeah, but all right, here we go. Bye, everybody.